Movie Wars.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Movie Wars podcast.
Woo!
Yes. I'm Kyle.
I'm Seth.
I'm Marianna.
A third timer.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember. I was like, I knew she was one of the few that had repeated, but this is her third time on the show.
Yeah. It's funny. You're going to watch next week's episode because we recorded it before this week's episode, and we're going to be like, she's back. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, but she was already back for this one.
Because we did
I'm back
Midsummer,
again.
and I forgot we had to release it during Midsummer. So,
Very
so
important.
sneak peek next week, Midsummer. You're going to love it.
And we really booked ourselves for just happiness row here.
Yeah.
We
I love that we started the month with Blades of Glory and 300, like really got jacked.
Yeah.
And now we're just like, we're going to cry for 2 weeks.
Black Swan and Midsummer.
Oh,
That's
And
my style.
what a 1-2 punch combo to the balls.
sadness.
Oh my God.
I watched both of them on airplanes too. Two really bad movies to watch on a packed plane. Just constantly going.
Don't watch the sex. Don't watch the sex.
And every time a damn, I almost said waitress. every time
The sky waitress.
every time a damn sky waitress. Which, let's be real, some of them are fantastic, but some of them act like sky waitresses.
Yes.
Walking by, I'm just like, I didn't do it. She's not stabbing her in the eye, I promise.
At least you didn't say stewardess because they
Yeah.
hate that.
Yeah.
That's on a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's still used on a boat. You're the head stew, in case y'all don't watch Below Deck.
Oh, that's dope.
Black Swan.
What a trip.
What a trip from a guy that likes to make trips.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of his thing, Mr. Aronofsky here, who's he teeters the line to me. This thought literally just hit me, but I'm constantly, when we're doing this show, I'm assessing, like, are we talking about a perennial auteur here?
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say he's worked himself into that status necessarily. I don't know. What do you think? I'm like,
Oh, he's 100% an auteur.
you think he's an auteur?
100%. Look, the weirdest movie for his style of filmmaking he's ever made was Noah.
Mm-hmm.
And even that was such an incredibly artistic look at what I would consider to be biblical mythology.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was very much outside of his style. But no, you look at the majority of his movies, he's very much an auteur. So, no,
Yeah.
100%.
And I think you might be right. And I think The Wrestler maybe is the one
I
that
still need to see that one.
Oh, that's my favorite.
we need to do that as the crossover
Yeah.
with spandex and
Oh my
stand-up.
God.
That was between Requiem for a Dream and Black Swan?
Yeah, 2008.
So good.
Okay.
One of my favorites.
When did Black Swan come out?
Black Swan came out in 2010.
Okay.
So
All right.
Requiem for a Dream 2000, Noah 2014, Mother 2017, The Whale 2022, and The Fountain 2006.
Mother.
Okay.
The thing I didn't realize is how many movies he's produced, though.
Oh, yeah.
He's
yeah.
produced like 3 times more movies than he's directed. He
That's where
produced The
money
Fighter.
is. Yeah, that's where the money is.
Yeah, which I love The Fighter.
The Fighter's great.
That was the David O. Russell movie.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only time I've ever hated Amy Adams.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Her voice was so annoying in that movie. What were you doing at the bar? What
The
were you doing at
bar.
the bar?
What are you at the bar?
I was like, okay, calm down. You're somehow more annoying than Mark Wahlberg in this movie. Chill.
Well, what were you doing at the bar? I worship God. Oh my God.
Though I will say my favorite shot from that movie is Christian Bale launching himself out of a window so that and then walking away with a broken leg.
He's incredible.
It's a really
good.
movie.
So it sounds like we were talking before the show. All 3 of us had a different feel for our rewatch of this movie compared. Talk about that. From the first time you watched it, for some reason it hit differently second time. Why?
For me, it's not that it hit differently. I just have a very different perspective on a few things, which I'll get to when we get to the questions. But the first time I watched it was like 2018, 2019, so it was very much removed from when it came out. I do remember it coming out, but I wasn't really into that side of movies yet. Still very much in my Christian bubble. So there was a lot of things I didn't know about in the movie industry until later. But when I did see it, I very much get queasy with the body horror, especially when it comes to fingernail reason. So that moment, that scene where the mom's cutting her nails, and like the moment where she peels her finger back, like it. The second time, this time going through it and knowing those things were coming, it was definitely a lot easier for me to get through the rest of it. But it is such a fascinating movie. I thought it was based on a book and then realized that this was a fully original story that the author of the guy who wrote the story, because I don't think he published it ever as like in anything other than the script. And so he wrote the story, and then he and 2 other guys wrote the script. But I was shocked. I was like, this feels like it would be a book.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like they took a novel that no one had really heard of and turned it into this grand showcase of an aspect of the ballerina industry. But no, fully original script, which I think is incredible.
Is it loosely based on the actual, like, on Swan Lake? Because the story of the movie, this is what, during my rewatch,
Yeah.
I realized, because I did Swan Lake when I was in high school.
Oh, nice.
So
We were both ballerinas, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 6 years old, the only boy in a class of 13 girls, and cooties were big. So I did not take anywhere near
Big
the
time
advantage of that I could have.
cooties.
There's literally, the group picture is hilarious because it is me dead center, and all the other girls are just like all around posing, and I'm sitting there with my hands on my waist looking up like, I'm so uncomfortable right now. It's what's going on? It's hilarious. I need to get that from my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I wish we had taken ballet together. That would have been so
That would have been
fun.
hilarious.
That'd be amazing. Like, we go way back, actually. Back to ballet.
Ballerinas together.
Yeah. But yeah, I did ballet for 15 years,
Yeah.
which is a long time.
Yeah.
And I wasn't very good at it. Everyone would say that. Got a couple of good pictures, but the movie reminded me of Swan Lake.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think obviously with it being the centerpiece of the story, clearly, I mean, and obviously the whole time she's going through this, am I the white swan? Am I the black swan? Like that dichotomy is there. So
Yeah.
I definitely think with it being the subject matter, it clearly influenced the rest of the story.
It's a really beautiful way to tell it, though. But man, the first time I watched it, when I don't know, I guess it was right when it came out because I was obsessed with ballet and Swan Lake. And so it came out in 2010.
Yeah.
And I graduated high school in 2006. And that was I was the black swan and the white swan for my like senior
Oh, that's
project
cool.
or whatever. So it was always my favorite ballet.
Yeah, this was, and I texted you both this, but this kind of gave me some PTSD because and I wanted to shout out, we're not always serious because we're comedians, but this huge dedication of this episode to an old friend of mine, I won't name her, but the reason this movie was very triggering because I knew a friend that I grew up with from basically my sophomore year of high school onward. I went to church with her.
Your hard year?
My hard year. But yeah. Sophomore.
Your more soft year.
Existential crisis. But she was this child prodigy, like ballerina.
Yeah.
And she was destined. And like, if you were to talk to her though, you wouldn't get the sense that she was this, because she was so insanely disciplined, hard on herself. Never, like, you would watch her dance and you would think like, wow, she literally fell out of heaven. Like, you couldn't believe just the precision.
Yeah.
But in her mind, she was dog shit.
Yeah.
And then she dated a guy that made her feel like dog shit. And so anyway, dedication to my old friend. I hope you're doing well, and I'm sorry. And that sucks. But serious moment. I don't know why I went serious there, but I thought of her this whole movie because Natalie Portman's character is so haunted.
Yeah.
She can't live. She can't get out of her shell because everything is in worship of this idea of perfection.
Yeah.
And that really is the message of this. Like, there's the idea of artistic struggle, of being so dedicated and in debt to your creative desires that you crave perfection. And then this idea of what does perfection look like and what cost, at what cost.
Yep.
And so I just kept thinking of my friend because I just know, like, she didn't have a life. You know, she was, ballet, and that was it.
Yeah.
And so, wow. I thought of that the whole time. This movie was hard to watch for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to watch for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can definitely imagine. I watched it last night with my roommate, and we were discussing it the whole time, and I was like, yeah, this is one of those movies I will definitely revisit, but it's there's gonna be many years in between watch. Kind of
Yes.
same with Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
They're very hard to watch, and Darren Aronofsky in particular is so good at the discomfort side of whatever his subject matter. Like, that movie, I always describe Requiem for a Dream as the first half will make you really, 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 really want to do drugs. The second half will make you never, ever, 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 ever want to touch drugs.
Yes.
And it's like watching that slow spiral for both movies is so uncomfortable.
And he does it in a way too, like, Paul Thomas Anderson's another director that does really well with discomfort, but Aronofsky has his own. He zooms in on it. Like, what do they call them? He named the shots where the shooting up zoom in shots, like the
Oh,
really
yeah.
Oh
in
yeah, I don't know
Requiem.
what his name. They're called inserts, but I don't know what his name.
He had
would
a
be.
name for it.
Yeah.
Like those, like just all of a sudden, it's like boom and shooting up,
Yeah.
boom, like eyes dilating, like oh my god, it's
Yeah.
like
The
he,
noise, too.
yes, that it's just like so uncomfortable.
Yeah, and then on top of that, every score Clint Mansell does, because he did Requiem for a Dream, he did this one. It's because it's funny. We were talking about it. I realized it hadn't been nominated for best score.
Yeah.
And McKenna and I were talking about it, and she was like, yeah, I don't think any of it really stood out. I couldn't tell you what the score was. And I was like, I could tell you exactly what the score is, because you have the first prologue section with the dancing where you have the full orchestra. And then as the movie progresses, the music almost builds in the same way that it is in the rehearsals. It's very stripped down, mostly just piano at the beginning. And then as the story progresses is as it gets bigger and bigger. So it really just sets the discomfort over the edge, in my opinion. Like it takes it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is reminding me. I completely forgot. I saw Clint Mansell live in concert in this church in New York
my God.
City. It was so good.
That sounds insane.
Oh my God. It was the coolest thing I've ever, honestly. But
Hell yeah.
And it's just all so visceral.
Yeah.
Everything he makes, everything Aronofsky makes together, they're just a match made in heaven.
Absolutely.
Maybe you have a doppelganger out there. An evil, dark doppelganger. I mispronounce at least 7 words. Exacerbate. I am from
You'll
Arkansas.
get that next week.
I get a bogey because I'm from Arkansas. But and maybe they're haunting you. And you know what? They would just chill if you would give them Movie Wars.
Yeah.
Just send them a link. There's a share button there. It's easy. Your grandma, your doppelganger, anybody can benefit from listening to Movie Wars.
Maybe Mila Kunis is trying to finger you, and you got to share Movie Wars.
Maybe she is.
Yeah.
Maybe she is.
Or she's just playing Meg.
Or maybe she's not even there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
We
she-
don't
point.
know. Yeah.
Who knows?
Not to
We
give it
don't know.
away.
Maybe she's drugging you. Who? Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Check out Movie Wars. Send it to your friends.
Share it.
Man, that
Like
was,
it. Love it. Subscribe. Everywhere.
That part where she roofies her friend, I did not. That was where I was.
That
on-
wasn't roofies.
Sorry, she didn't roofie her friend. She drugged her
Yes.
friend.
Mhm.
Very much
Excuse me.
drug. Yeah.
It is different, but it's
Because that
very
was
similar.
was that Molly or ecstasy?
Tylenol.
It was. She said. She said
Flintstones
rolling.
gummy vitamin.
What's rolling? That's Molly.
It's Molly and ecstasy, so I don't know which one it was.
Oh, then I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
can't remember which one is like the dark crystal.
But drugging anybody who doesn't do any drugs is
Ari
basically
Shaffir.
roofing them. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. If anyone did that to me, it'd be a disaster.
Yeah.
I've never done any kind of hallucinogen. If you did
Yeah.
it to me, I'd probably turn into a serial killer or
I
something.
will say the visual though, like where she keeps having those waves go
Yeah.
across her arm. Every single person I know who's done Molly, ecstasy, whatever, has described it exactly like that.
Wow.
Where it's like, you just get
to
these
do it.
waves of feeling over your body, and that's why they call it rolling. Is because it's like you're rolling waves.
Fine, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You
Say no more.
convinced
Marianna and
me.
I are about to do a lot of drugs together.
Yeah. And
gonna
then
go-
I'm going to go sober for July.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go home and eat pork rinds.
There we go.
That's my version of
I
rolling.
got half a bag in there if you need some.
Really. Shout out to 4504. They're the best chicharron out there.
Oh, I just do the Kroger brand because they're $2.
4504. They're so good. The white jalapeno cheddar. Yes. So the questions. You want to start off with a question.
Yes. How much of the abuse do you think is real? Because here's the thing that I did not think about until this rewatch. I very much think he kissed her at the beginning and she bit him.
Yeah.
And that's where he was like, oh, there is something in you. Part of me wonders if that whole scene where he's feeling her up while they're dancing isn't just her psychosis.
Yeah.
Part of me feels like half of the stuff with the mom is just her psychosis.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm like, where do you think, because we had this question with American Psycho, where do you think the psychosis begins and how much of that do you think actually happened?
Man, I want to believe that all the stuff with the mom's real because that reminds me so much of my mom,
Yeah.
especially when I was a
Well, it's
kid,
also a very
ballerina.
stereotypical ballerina mom kind of situation.
Yeah. I'm the Swan Queen.
Yeah.
You never left the court.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
the
what
best.
a moment.
That is the best line in the whole movie. That's a really good point. I don't think anybody. So she has the psychosis going on, but nobody really ever mentions the fact that she's also extremely anorexic, and that makes you very loopy.
Oh, yeah. No, I
And-
think half of the psychosis started from the anorexia.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm like,
Yeah.
did he really feel her up? Because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we all agree he was not fucking Mila Kunis near the end there.
Yeah.
Like where she walks into the darkness of the studio and she sees. I don't think that happened.
Yeah.
So it's like, did he really feel her up, or did he just say the seduction part?
It's a good point. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
Yeah.
This is what I love about Aronofsky. What's real?
Yeah. I think that's the point. I think he really leaned into the visuals more than caring if we knew what was real or not. I think it was intentional that it's especially because the whole movie's about her personality splitting into two and Lily coming to terms with this dark side of herself.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it was a visual. And that was probably when the director is with Mila Kunis, that is the most confusing visual in the movie to me. Because that was the moment. It's funny, you asking this question, that was the first question I had when I finished this movie.
Yeah.
That visual is the one that gets me the most confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know after that. I thought I had kind of an idea, and then I saw that, I was like, I don't know.
See, that's where I'm like, I definitely feel like that moment was full hallucination.
Yeah.
But that's when I started, because I looked at McKenna and I was like, hold on. If this is fake, did he actually feel her up in the other scene?
Yeah.
Because now we don't know if Mila Kunis had sex with her.
And we don't know if Mila Kunis is real.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
a good point. I was wondering if she was real the whole time.
Yeah.
Because she's exactly the opposite of Natalie Portman's character.
Yeah.
Like the perfect opposite.
The only
And
problem.
she's not a ballerina. She is not good. She is not a dancer. No. She is nothing like any ballerina I've ever met.
No.
And she's like normal. She's fun.
Yeah.
Right.
She's not hard on herself.
Yeah. Eating burgers.
She couldn't get to that level of ballet.
No.
With that personality.
No.
The problem is too that, and you're so right, and the problem with it is too is that the director acknowledges her. Like it's not like other movies where there's a figment and then you go back, wow, I guess no one ever really acknowledged that person's presence.
But how much of her was real? Because he only acknowledges her like 3 times. The mom seems very confused because she's like, it's nobody at the door. And then when she goes out, she's like, who are you talking to? Like, what's going on? And then when she comes back, she doesn't acknowledge that Mila Kunis is there.
She literally goes to ballet practice with her hair down.
Yeah.
And she's a professional? No, okay, you would have
But she's a San Francisco professional.
Right off the bus from San Francisco.
You would have gotten hit with a cane by my Russian ballet teacher.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wait, were you in the John Wick universe?
I didn't realize they were going to make a story about my life this time.
This is when we find out she's secretly an assassin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's.
didn't want y'all to find out this way.
Yeah, I
I'll
know.
have to kill you
If I gotta die on this podcast, I guess.
All right, you're going to have to cut this out. Hold on.
It's a good noise.
Yeah, I don't cut out shit like that. Unless it said a dirty word, you know. Yeah, and it's funny that we're talking about this because as we're talking about, it's funny. This doesn't happen often, but I watched this like a week ago, and I still don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah,
it's. There was so much I appreciated, but just having this conversation, like I wish I knew more about because there wasn't a commentary on the version I had. There were some special features, but I'm just like, I don't know what he wanted to show us. Yeah. And I know the general premise and ideas that were there, but the psychosis element of it does make it difficult to understand what really he was trying to express.
Yeah.
I think part of it, and I mean, this is the obvious one, but I think part of it is definitely the kind of bipolar nature. Because clearly, and I mean, I know there are instances of bipolar disorder that can induce psychosis.
Yes.
So that is a real thing. But
Shout out
it's
to my mom.
Lovely. But it's like, obviously that's the obvious part of it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it clearly there's so many more layers to it. I know it was very controversial in the ballet industry when it came out, and it was heavily I feel like we cover a lot of heavily protested movies. But it's like, I know there's stereotypes that go along with, oh yeah, ballerinas are heavily they're used, they're abused, like, but I don't think this was designed to showcase the entire ballet industry. I feel like this was supposed to show an isolated story of one example of, hey, this is part of the industry.
Or the old industry. It's a little old now. Now ballerinas are muscular and they're well fed and they're healthy. And, they look happy. They seem athletic and and happy. And I've watched a ballerina on TikTok or something, Instagram. She was talking about how she had to lose half a pound, and it was just this like writing down everything. She's like, I can have 3 oranges and I can have this and that. And I was like, wow, I would have just not eaten for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? That's how I would have dealt with that problem. So
Chicken and rice, y'all.
I think it's better now. I think that this is maybe even a portrait of like the old ballet. Because I love Winona Ryder's character. Too. Wow, what a perfect casting there.
She's so good.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was one of the first things she had done in a long time. She was kind of ousted in the industry for a little while. Was it after she stole a bunch of shit?
Yeah, it was
with
shoplifting.
shoplifting.
Yeah. It's always the shoplifting.
I feel like that's what that Family Guy episode where Lois is shoplifting is about. Is that.
Yeah.
And obviously, she's made a huge comeback. I mean, I don't like Stranger Things, but people seem to like her in that.
Yeah, she's really good in that.
I've seen the first 3 seasons. It's fine. I'm waiting for the finale to come out before I watch the last couple. But yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea. I really like Stranger Things.
It definitely, in some ways, feels like a Super 8 ripoff. But Super 8's incredible. But I like it. I think it did a cool thing where it brought D&D finally into the mainstream. Like, I don't think the D&D movie would have survived without Stranger Things. Yeah.
I like Stranger Things, but I just think maybe it's because I wanted Super 8 to be 80 hours long.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just want these movies to be 65 hours to 100 hours.
Yeah.
And they're usually just 1 or 2.
Yeah.
No, interesting question. I'm trying to think of a more interesting question than what I have written down because this conversation.
No, these are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it just me or does this whole movie feel like a Radiohead music video?
I mean, isn't that most of Darren Aronofsky's work?
I think
did he direct music videos?
He did one with either Radiohead or Tom York.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure he's worked with Radiohead at least once or twice.
Yeah,
like it makes sense.
That makes so much sense because Radiohead's so like
surrealist.
That's a good word for it. I was gonna say emo, but not in a good way.
They kind of predated the emo scene though.
And I do like Radiohead a lot. It just reminds me of like when I was such good.
Yeah. I'm a diehard Radiohead fan. I have so much of their stuff in vinyl
You mean
too.
the Radiohead?
The Radiohead.
Yeah.
The Radioheads.
The Deftones.
The Radioheads.
Or is it really the Radiohead?
Oh no! He just got lambasted in one of our clips because he said the Deftones, and
yeah,
people were like, "Fuck
that.
you! It's Deftones."
I almost just drove off a bridge.
Yeah.
It was a horrible time to be
Blasting
alive.
the Deftones.
That was you guys.
At least they weren't calling me fat.
Being mean.
Not in that one.
Not in that one.
A week later, they were.
Yeah. So it was, it really does though. I mean, there are, as much as I'm conflicted about how I feel about this movie, the visuals and the choreography and the darkness and the mirrors.
Yeah.
There is a lot like to feast on just visually.
Yeah. There was one moment where she goes in the bathroom, and in the bathroom stall, she calls her mom to say that she got the part. And I looked at my roommate, and I was like, only Darren Aronofsky and his cinematographer could make a completely plastic gray wall interesting visually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like somehow that shot of the only like texture is her on the phone. Everything else is just washed out gray background. Somehow that shot is still fucking interesting to look at.
I have no idea how they do these things. This is not my thing as a person.
Her entire response was damn good lighting guy.
Yeah.
Like that is I would say easily half of what makes cinematography good is understanding how the lighting makes things.
Yeah.
I thought the most interesting set in the movie was her apartment.
Yeah.
Because it spoke to what her life was.
Yeah.
And
did they say in the
minimal.
behind the scenes if that was a location or a set? Because I was very curious.
I think it's a set.
It's because I know like in Requiem for a Dream the mom's apartment was, but it looked so lived in. Like,
yes.
Props to the production team if that was a set because that looked like a 100-year-old New York apartment.
Oh yeah, I would have thought it was a set. I definitely would have thought it was just somebody's apartment.
Yeah.
I thought that woman just lived. I thought that's where they lived.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
And it also
so good.
It spoke to this idea that because it was so small and confined, she can't escape her mother while she's there.
Yeah.
Like, and her mother was so suffocating.
Yeah.
Whether-
See, that's my
claustrophobic.
question. That goes back to my question: is was she really?
Yeah.
Or was that part of the psychosis where she was a little overbearing? The extra suffocation, was that part of the psychosis?
Yeah. And
Was mom actually trying to save her from killing herself via anorexia? Or was she a piece of shit mom?
I think she was a piece of shit mom because I don't feel like you get to this. I've met ballerinas who were well balanced and could eat. And they didn't hate themselves for making a tiny mistake. And I am 37 and I struggle with the and it ruins a day. It ruins a this or that or whatever. My whole life is just around this like thing. And it happened from childhood of this like you have to be perfect. And I feel like I just feel like her mom like maybe watered the feet and made them grow. But your mom pushes your buttons because she installed them.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
there's that. But yeah, I don't know. It's just partially because it's so personal to me. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
her mom's a piece of shit.
Well, it's like I definitely think her mom exacerbated
Yeah.
some things. But that's where I'm also just like, I don't know if all of it was as dramatic as she thought it was.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very close to this. Very emotionally tied in with me.
Definitely not because I didn't do ballet, but as a creative, like I understand this torturous relationship between your creative endeavor and your personality and what you put into it. Although I don't feel as dedicated as as our protagonist here.
20 hours a day, Jesus.
Rendos. A lot of interesting stuff here. So earlier you asked, was this based on a book? His biggest inspiration for this film was Dostoevsky's The Double.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was obsessed. I love Dostoevsky. And he was obsessed with this idea of the doppelganger. Like that's where a lot of this came from.
This is the screenwriter? Or the story writer?
Aronofsky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Aronofsky said that and how he directed it. So he took the script and he took influence from The Double by Dostoevsky.
Okay.
He also said it's a spiritual cousin in an interview to the 1948 film The Red Shoes, which I haven't seen.
I love The Red Shoes.
Really?
Okay.
Tell us about it.
I mean, it's about this woman it's a ballerina. She puts on enchanted red shoes and it changes her. Ballets are not very deep stories.
Yeah.
They're very surface level. It's kind of like when you make a movie about a video game. It's kind of like you bought in there.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of plot, but there's entrance.
Interesting.
Yeah, he said it's a spiritual cousin to that movie.
Yeah,
Does that
it
make
is.
sense?
Totally.
Huh.
Wow, yeah. I love anything ballet related, though.
I do want to know what inspired Andre Hines' story, though.
Yeah.
Because, it's such a crazy thing to just pull out of your head.
Yeah.
As far as just like, because I did a little bit of research just because I wanted to know where it came from. Nowhere did it say what inspired him to write the story.
Right.
It just says he wrote the story.
Well, I think for me, I don't know if this is what inspired him, but we're comedians, right? And we all have other art forms. We're writers, screenplay writers, whatever. There's not a lot of art forms like ballet where it's, is it creative, but it's also insanely militaristic.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's regimented.
Yeah.
Like my wife did ballet for a long time and her mom was just like, I don't want you to do this anymore, do piano. Cause I just don't think you're going to survive.
Yeah.
Cause it is.
What a good mom.
Yeah. Right.
Wow.
I know.
That's why she's not a comedian.
Yes. That's why my wife is a balanced person.
Yeah. That's why
unlike
she's
me.
the mother of 4 kids and you're the one who has a podcast.
Yeah. Hey! Yeah. But yeah, it's a different. Yes, is it creative? Is it beautiful? Does it deserve all the respect that any other creative art form does?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like stand up.
I don't even know if I'd call it creative.
Yeah.
I mean, it's to a place. The choreography is creative.
Yeah.
But like you can't.
Remember though, the choreographer is the painter. The ballerinas are the paintbrushes and paint.
See, that's why I wouldn't necessarily say that the ballerina is because it's like you are just executing.
Yeah.
And when you get something a little off,
Yeah.
it is the end of the day.
Yeah.
It is, you get screamed at, where's the cane?
Yeah.
You're doing it 100 more times.
Yeah.
So it's just, but yes, you're right. The creativity does come from, which I would have much preferred to be.
This movie broke a lot of standards. So in terms of being a horror-ish, they don't call it horror. They say horror adjacent psychological thriller, but it absolutely broke the mold. It was $13 million budget. It made $329 million.
Hell yes.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
Good for you, Darren.
For an astounding dark psychological thriller, it earned 5 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture.
Yep.
It's the only horror. It's one of 6 horror-adjacent films to win a Best Picture nod. And the other ones were The Exorcist and Get Out. Were 2 other examples of that.
Yeah.
And
Natalie Portman won the Oscar.
And she got 28 trophies in total across all the various award ceremonies.
I think it won 98 awards across everything and was nominated for 278 awards.
And a baby.
Yeah.
She also got pregnant during the filming of this.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Wow.
Y'all didn't know that?
Baby
No.
ballet.
Who's the choreographer?
Oh, yeah. She met her. She took the bath of Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's funny.
she married a cameraman, and Natalie Portman married the choreographer.
Yeah. Are they
Oh,
still
that's funny.
married?
I don't know. I don't keep up with that
I
shit.
don't know either.
Hi, I do a movie podcast and don't give a shit about celebrities. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Don't tell me about your politics or your green initiative. I will throw a can onto the grass when I want to.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm just
You will
kidding.
murder a kitten.
Yes, and wear its skin.
I'm leaving.
No, I'm just kidding. Is Harrison here? I hope he didn't hear that.
Oh, he heard. He's eyeing you from behind the couch.
He's always eyeing me. Every time I hear, it's like a shark. You know what they say about sharks? When you're swimming in the ocean, you don't see a shark, 3 see you.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Harrison.
Yeah.
I don't see
Where is
Harrison.
he?
He's hiding under my bed.
He knows where you are.
Aw,
He's
he
using radar.
Yeah.
He knows that I want to hug him.
Oh, he's sweet. I don't even really love cats, and I love Harrison. Natalie Portman trained 5 to 8 hours a day and got down to 98 pounds. She lost 20 pounds for this role.
She's already teeny tiny.
She is.
Oh my God.
She's a paperclip.
The whole movie, McKenna and I were just like, what the fuck? She is so small.
It brought back so much anorexia stuff for me.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because I was watching her being like, she's fat.
Oh no. Oh no.
Where's my red Band-Aid thing I used to wear to remind myself to be anorexic?
Oh,
I used to
no.
wear a red hair tie. It's a whole thing.
Oh yeah, don't
It's
eat.
a club.
Oh.
This is for anorexia. This is pro. What was it called? I don't remember.
I feel bad
Pro-Anna.
having pulled you back into this world. I didn't know I was doing that. I'm so sorry.
It's called Pro-Anna. ANA.
Okay.
So almost Marianne. Pro Marianna.
Damn it, I'm sorry. If I would have known that, we would have covered Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
But then you would
And
be
Weekend
like,
at Bernie's too.
oh, that reminds me when I remote controlled the dead guy. And I had a red band on my arm to remind me, remote control the dead guy.
I guess at some point we'll have to have James back to do 302.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The
I'll watch
return.
that. That'll be great.
The return of the pecs.
Yeah.
And Kunis also lost 20 pounds, 1,200 calories a day, and she said she smoked a lot of cigarettes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
bet, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, although even though she didn't really do a good job dancing, apparently.
So, well, there's one moment where they show her dancing, and you can just see she was not a dancer for her entire childhood.
Yeah.
Maybe she did different dance. Maybe she did jazz and stuff, but she didn't do ballet. Natalie Portman's actually very good at like making you feel like she is a ballerina, but they definitely probably put
Now
her.
I'm curious.
We
Yeah.
gotta look this up.
Y'all
'cause-
keep talking. I'm going to figure
because
this out.
I remember Emily Blunt had a huge career bump because she was in that movie where she was a ballerina. But I knew the guy that did the visual effects who put her face on a ballerina's body, so I never believe that it's really them dancing.
There's a rando about that.
Yeah,
Here
okay.
too. Yeah,
I'll
there's some similar controversy here.
Yeah,
Okay, she did not have any formal ballerina training before she was cast in Black Swan.
That's weird because in the interview with Aronofsky on the special features, they talk about her. She did ballet as in like high school or something, and then she stopped.
Interesting.
Aronofsky met her when she was in college, and she was doing ballet in college. I'm not saying it's formal training, but she
Yeah.
did do ballet,
Yeah.
and she stopped. And then that's why Aronofsky wanted to work with her because he knew she had a background, at least enough.
ballerina.
She does.
If I were to cast anybody as a ballerina, I would cast.
She
her.
looks like my friend.
Yeah.
Like just like spitting image.
Yeah, according to the choreographer from Black Swan, Kunis never studied ballet.
No, it's Portman had the background, not Kunis. Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
I was confused. Sorry,
Yeah.
because there's an interview between Aronofsky and Portman about her ballet background.
Yeah, see that makes sense.
Kunis.
But yeah, Mila Kunis never did
Yeah.
ballet before this.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because is she Ukrainian or is she Russian? I know she speaks Russian, but
Ooh,
I don't
cool.
know.
yeah.
I just know she
that.
speaks
Yeah.
Meg.
Yeah. Shut up, Meg.
Yeah. This was my favorite rando. So obviously there's a scene where this happens, and I don't know if this is that scene, but there was a scene where Natalie Portman was dropped by Vincent Cassel and dislocated a rib for real. So
Ooh.
the scene of them working her, where she's like, your diaphragm
Yep.
is whatever, that's actually
The sports therapist.
they were actually working on Natalie Portman. So that's what that scene is. So that scene, even though it made it to the final cut, that was
Yeah.
them working on her actual rib that was out of place.
Body horror.
Damn.
That is my biggest fear. I was on a podcast with my friend Nicole a few weeks ago, and she was like, "What's your biggest fear?" I was like, "My ribs popping out of
Yep.
place.
Ugh.
Yep.
This is real. That is
Yeah.
so scary."
I've had a dislocated rib, but that's just because I was fat and couldn't handle it. I had the opposite problem, and they were like, "I can't find the rib; it'll heal. You don't need a therapist; you just need to drop some weight."
Yeah.
Oh God.
Like the movie Wars fans
Don't
are right.
be so fat.
Yeah, just stop being a lard. You should have absorbed the compact. What is your the contact? What's your problem?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuckers.
That's funny. Oh, I love that they included that though. That's cool.
Yeah.
That was a hard
Aaron-
scene to watch.
Aronofsky.
They're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna rub your diaphragm."
Yeah.
That's the most horrific. I hate when they have to do that.
Is that a thing? Like
Oh, yeah.
they're actually like.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's also just something in like women's, when you go to the OBGYN, they just have to make sure there's no growths
Yeah.
happening
All
in
over.
your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I love how they're like, it's like feeling around in a mattress. I'm like,
Yeah.
that makes me feel better.
Ooh, I feel like a woman.
I'm not a mattress. She call me fat.
Us, they just stick their finger up our ass, and apparently that wasn't even necessary.
You know how you refer to me as old guy, right?
Yeah.
I had a wellness exam this week, and she said, it's not time, but
We're getting there.
we're getting there.
Yeah.
Just so you can get excited about it.
I turned 38 this month, and they're giving me a warning.
Apparently,
no.
I just read recently, apparently the whole finger in the ass thing, not necessary.
It actually makes it worse. It
Yeah.
actually increases your chances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
Love.
so glad I'm a lady.
Take that, peggers.
I love being alive. Not really. This is dog shit. This whole existence. Bring the fucking asteroid. Oh, sorry. Did I say something? Sorry, I sneezed.
Don't give away our movie.
I blacked out. Oh yeah, that's true.
We're writing a movie together.
Yeah, bringing.
Cool. Oh, I can't wait. Then that'll
Right.
just be me doing a movie wars without y'all, with other people.
Yeah. Hi. Midsummer version 3.
Yeah.
Randos.
Randos. Last rando. Speaking of that, so going back to that controversy. First of all, there's a whole tidbit that I read about mirrors. There's only one scene. There's a mirror in every scene of the movie,
Wow.
except for the very last one, because that's where you're supposed to believe that she fully has.
What about the scene where she's talking to Winona Ryder outside?
That's a good question. Yeah,
There wasn't a mirror in that one.
There wasn't. Okay, so it just says cinematographer Matthew Libatic. That's a weird name. Included a reflection or a mirror, or reflection or mirror. So
Okay.
if it wasn't a mirror, then a reflection in every single shot of Black Swan until the final sequence when Nina performs without any sense of self.
Incredible.
That is so tedious. to
Yeah.
set
Yeah.
up. Wow.
So I guess the reflection could be water. It could be shiny surface.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I'd known that before I watched it.
I know.
Looking for it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the thing about doing this podcast. And I always I need to go back and watch it just to see if I pick up on
I
that.
know.
And at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to put myself through that again.
I know.
Yeah,
I won't.
I know.
Not today.
I won't be watching this one again. I'm just gonna say that doesn't mean I didn't respect or like it. I actually wanted to watch Requiem for a Dream again, as torturous as it
Yeah.
was.
Oh man.
Again, it's one of those. I'll come back every few years, but
Mhm.
not even every year, not even every couple year, every few years.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one hit too hard.
Yeah.
Second part of this rando, you talked about the face grafting of what was her name, Blunt.
Oh, Emily
Emily
Blunt.
Blunt.
Yeah.
So there was all this marketing and discussion about how Natalie Portman did all this ballet for this movie, and she practiced 5 to 8 hours a day. But there was an American ballet soloist named Sarah Lane who served as Portman's dance double, and she claims that she did like 95% of the full body work is her. And so there was this argument about who did what. Portman said that she did 80% of it. And so whether or not it actually matters is interesting. But this ballerina felt a little
Slighted.
The
Slighted.
real
I
question
get
is
it.
what ended up on screen.
yeah.
Because I'm sure they both did them.
Yeah.
I'm sure they both did the majority of it, but you never know what's going to get cut on the screen.
Yeah. Well, so I was trying to pay attention to that because I was very interested in if Natalie Portman did the ballet or not. And whenever Natalie Portman is doing it, it's not a full body shot and it's a lot of arms, which is a little bit easier. The feet is what I would assume she would have a lot more
Yeah.
trouble with because
Yeah.
that's ingrained from when you're 3 years old.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
turnout or you don't. There is no, you cannot fix it. So I bet you that the full body shots were the real ballerina or the professional ballerina.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of it.
Yeah.
There's really only a couple of moments where it's full
Yeah.
body,
Yeah.
and a lot of it you can see Natalie Portman's face. So I now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if Darren Aronofsky would even superimpose her face on there. I think
Yeah.
he would do it in a different way.
Yeah.
I don't think he likes.
No,
dancing
he
like
wouldn't
that.
do that.
Yeah, he's more like a.
Especially back in 2010.
Yeah, yeah. It's a
Yeah,
lot of money too.
yeah.
Visual effects.
He said
yeah.
Natalie did about 80% of dancing on screen is what she said. Mila Kunis said she publicly defended Portman's work ethic in the end. Lane conceded that she had signed a contract without guaranteed credit, and the studio noted that Portman had only openly credited her ballet doubles in interviews. I'm just reading. I don't usually read on screen, but it's very dense. The dense double drama only added to the mystique of how much of Nina's perfection was Natalie's versus movie magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you sign a contract, like you're gonna accept. She wasn't even credited as the ballet double in the
Right.
credits.
Oh,
Right.
Wow.
That does
That's where she
suck,
got
but
pissed.
That
Yeah.
sucks.
I mean, you signed the contract. You should have read it better.
Yeah.
But also, the magic of the movie comes from Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, I know that the ballerina, that is very difficult and amazing that she can do that.
Yeah.
And I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah.
all the difficult scenes were Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to pull your fingers?
Ugh. Well, this is an interesting thing that I didn't really learn until doing this podcast is that there are schools of thought, and you actually educated me on some of this. It's like I can't remember what episode we did, but like there are people that don't like that Tom Cruise does all of his own stunts.
Yeah.
Because it's like you don't because they're taking work from stuntmen.
Yeah. Well, also, what is the insurance policy on that?
I'm sure he has his own.
$62 trillion.
Yeah. But I think it's the mystique of Tom Cruise. I actually dig it. But I mean, Keanu Reeves also does a lot of his own. But you know,
Willem Dafoe did his own stunts in the new Spider-Man that he was in.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow, and he's older.
No, he purposefully was like, no, I'm going to do as many of the stunts as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
I just assume like if I were working on the set, I'd be like, no, please get the guy that does this all day, every day, and doesn't even have to think about anything else to get it done because he's easier to work with than Tom Cruise.
I feel like it depends on what kind of stunt you're doing. If it's like Florence Pugh in the new Thunderbolts movie, she actually jumped off the second tallest building in the world. Yeah, like I would want to do that if I was an actor. Why the fuck am I going to give it to someone else? There was an episode of Mythbusters where they were trying to do the clip from Temple of Doom, where Indiana Jones falls through all of the awnings.
Yeah.
And Adam Savage was so excited to do it, and then insurance called and said, "We're not going to let you do it. We have to give it to one of the B guys." And he was furious.
Well, yeah.
Because who wouldn't want to do that?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to be the guy who gets to fall and be like, I did that?
I mean, I feel like a lot of people wouldn't want to do it, but I do.
I would.
We would do it.
Absolutely, I would.
Would you do it?
No.
Okay, see, there's one.
I'm a pansy.
Yeah.
I'm not doing shit.
Man, I love jumping off.
And that's why you get called fat in the comments.
That's right.
I was thinking about being a base jumper after I went skydiving.
Oh, damn.
I just need to go skydiving 200 more times, and then I can become a base jumper.
Nice.
What were we talking about?
Shall we dance the night away?
Let's do it.
Shall we diverge into our doppelganger selves?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we
Let's.
rip skin off while we're trying to peel our fingernail back?
I think we
Yeah.
should.
Oh,
Shall we
God.
fuse our toes together?
Love your mothers. Let's war. By the way, do they really do that? Do they cut the cork inside out of the shoes?
That's my favorite scene in the whole movie.
Why does
because
she do that?
Well, they all have different things that they do. Some people took the insides out. Some people sew the front part together so it's tighter. Some people burn parts of it. You put it in water, rosin. Everybody's different.
Was that glass she was stepping on in that box, or was that
Rosin.
sand?
It's rosin.
Oh,
it's
okay.
It's what you use for softball and baseball.
And like
It's
violin bows
sticky.
and like that kind of stuff. Yeah.
It's like sticky. It makes you stick to the ground.
Okay.
Because if you're performing, if you're in the studio, it's less likely you're going to slip.
Yeah.
But then when you're on the stage,
Yeah.
it's so slippery.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I knew what the purpose was, but I didn't know what she was stepping in. So that makes more sense.
It's a delicate dance, or whatever.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Dude, that's all.
It is. I agree.
Do
you
you-
just combined like 3
It's
random
a
phrases.
delicate dance.
Do you-
we weave.
What's wrong with me? Do you have 3 hours? Do you have do you clear your schedules, ladies and gentlemen? Top Bill cast. Here we go. Natalie Portman, Mila Kunis, and Vincent Cassell.
Yeah, not a single moment in this movie did I not think that they were doing what they were doing. Again, same as what we'll talk about next week, Midsommar. It very much feels just regular conversation. Like every single one of them, I didn't think they were acting. It was just like they're talking. They're doing their thing. They all did such a good job.
By the way, yes is White Swan, no is Black Swan.
Fair. White Swan. It's so good. I was about to ask.
Yeah, is that a good one? White Swan, Black Swan?
Yeah.
okay, just
Oh,
making sure.
great. Definitely.
Yeah, cool. So you're a White Swan.
Yeah.
White Swan on this one too.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't imagine a better cast. Even though Mila Kunis was not very ballet-y, she's perfect for the role.
How do you think it would have gone if they had done what Star Wars did and put Keira Knightley as the opposite?
Man, that could have been cool too.
Could have been cool.
You know, I just feel like they're good actresses, and any good actress could have probably put their own spin on it.
Yeah.
But I feel like Mila Kunis is like, she has this like weird free spirit. Like they cast her because she's like the hot, dark energy.
She's like Zooey Deschanel without the quirkiness.
Yeah, exactly. So it's more, I feel like Keira Knightley honestly would have been a little bit more like Natalie Portman too. She could have been Natalie Portman's character. Yeah, I just, all the way. But with Vincent Cassel, what else has he been in?
Oh, he's been in a lot, man. He's got a face that you don't forget.
Yeah, but you also can't place it.
I wrote down during the movie, I was like, is he hot or just foreign?
Yeah, he's French. That's why he's
Yeah, he's just.
He was in Tekken 8. as one of the fighters.
He's a good looking guy, and
Yeah.
it's more of like how he acts in the
Yeah.
movie that's very like commanding and like hot in the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
they're
also
all
love the
so
fact
good.
that he only wore black, white, and gray. He never wore, and all
Yeah.
of his office and his apartment were
Yeah.
only black and white.
Almost everything he's done is European.
Oh yeah, see, he's
okay.
just foreign. But yeah, and then they had Natalie Portman in like light pink
Yeah.
the whole time, and like Mila's always in black, and
Until she got rid of her teddy bears. That's when her color
yeah.
palette started changing.
That was such a Catwoman move, by the way. Do
Yeah.
you remember when Catwoman did that? Oh, I cried so hard. She shoved all her stuffed animals into the disposal, and
This is a skosh white swan for me, or what's
Oh.
below a squeak. I'm actually
Okay.
it's a squeak.
Okay.
Remember, squeak, skosh, shit ton, fuck ton.
I love this.
Yeah.
You'll find out all about that next week.
It's not a real thing. It's just it's literally
It is a real thing.
It's
It's
a
our
binary system, but
It's our thing.
I I think Natalie Portman was deserving of the accolades. Incredible. Just not only the performance, but the ballet itself. Whatever amount of it was real was enough for me. I thought it was great. Vincent Cassell was amazing.
Yeah.
Even for a guy that I don't really know a lot of his other work, I hated him so much, but that was the point.
Yeah.
I literally hated him so much, but he was doing his job.
Yeah.
He did that very well. I never really, the reason it's a squeak is never dug Mila Kunis that much. I just don't think, I think there was a better choice. I can't tell you who that was, but I do think there was a little bit of a better choice out there.
But see, with her being the opposite of Natalie Portman, I feel like it worked.
See, I don't feel like she was opposite enough. I think there was just there had to be someone else out there that was a little more, I just never, and we talked about this with Tom Cruise. I don't remember what brought it up, but we talked about like it's hard to overlook someone's offstage mystique.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to shake my comedic interpretation of who she is.
Yeah.
And I just kept waiting for her to crack jokes.
I know.
She's very funny. I think she's very
know.
gifted.
Oh, yeah.
But
She's great in that 70s show, great in Family Guy.
Oh,
Yeah, and for, what is it? Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah.
She's good in that.
Yep.
But it's not that I don't like her. I just for some reason I never signed on fully to her. But but everyone else's performances are so good, and I think watching this again, Portman, it reconfirmed that she deserves every ounce of accolade she got. So it's a squeak, but we go.
All right.
We are white swanning. We are on our way. I don't know though. The story is so twisty and turny. It's hard to say what's good and bad.
Yeah.
Is it good to be the white swan? I don't know.
I know. She seems nuts. She seems insane.
Supporting cast. Oh man, Winona Ryder, Barbara Hershey as the mom. Oh my God.
Oh man.
Benjamin Millipede as David.
What a name.
I know he's the guy that drops her.
Yeah.
And then we just got a bunch of ballerinas here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if there's another. Yep, just not to shit on the ballerinas, but just a bunch of ballerinas.
This is going to be a squeak under Black Swan for me.
Ooh.
Because as good as the mother was, and as great as Winona Ryder was, everyone else just not enough to make me be like, no, this cast was stacked.
Yeah.
They had 5 very special people
Yeah.
in the main and supporting cast. Everyone else was just it's a Black Swan for me, but just barely.
I'm gonna agree with you.
Yeah.
Definitely Black Swan, just barely.
Yeah.
Winona and the mom are awesome, and then everyone else, I forgot that they were in the. I forgot there was.
I didn't even know the guy who dropped her had a name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I always was
Someone
like,
did name
fuck
him.
that guy because he.
And then he blamed her. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, I'm going through a splitting of personalities. Give me a break.
I love when she was like, he dropped me.
It wasn't my fault.
It wasn't my fault. That was so ballerina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my dad, don't take accountability.
That was a funny point you just made, because one thing, I'm not going to say I didn't like it in the movie, but maybe it was just discomfort, but her constant seeking of his approval
Yeah.
was what I hated that. Like,
I mean, obviously that stems from her relationship with her mom.
Yeah.
That whoever the authority figure is, she wants their approval. She's been in the ballet company for 4 years.
yeah.
It clearly has continuously been passed over.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I mean, it makes sense.
It does make sense. It was just hard to watch.
Yeah.
Because he's just such a
Absolutely.
bad dude.
Yeah.
And she's getting old for a ballerina.
That's true.
28 is very old.
Okay, so she was 28.
Or I think that she was.
Because I thought she was supposed to be younger.
Maybe she was supposed to be younger. I think they said that she was 28.
At some point, they say how old Winona Ryder is, and that's the point they
That's
make.
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because
I
that's
I
like
thought
30.
she was.
Yeah, they were like, she's so old. She's
Yeah.
30.
I
She's
thought
younger
she
than
was
me.
like 22.
She probably
to have
was.
been in the company
Yeah.
for 4 years. I feel like she joined at 18, 19, so maybe she's 22, 23.
That makes more sense.
That was my assumption.
But Winona's the old one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At 30.
Since none of them are old, actually,
God, I'm ancient now. This fucker's dead, basically.
Thank God we're not ballerinas.
Yeah.
That's the thing about dance. I wanted to become a professional dancer, and then I thought about it really, and I was like, do I really just want to be poor until I'm 30 and then not have a career?
Yeah.
Poor, anorexic, and
Yeah. Well, at least if you're poor, you don't need to buy any food.
That's
Yeah,
true.
it's true.
There is I guess. Oh my God, I'm
Not now.
I'm not going to espouse the benefits of anorexia.
They're better now. I don't want to say that all ballerinas are anorexic because
Yeah.
they're not. Misty
Oh,
Copeland is
man.
not anorexic.
Some of the shit that this movie's crossing me up from a
Yeah.
socioeconomic level here. Barbara Hershey as the mother.
Wow.
I got Carrie vibes.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh, that's exactly what I said to McKenna.
Totally.
I got major.
Yeah.
Totally.
Just religious versus failure.
Yeah.
Like those are the
Ugh.
only difference, but the vibe is 100%
Yeah.
the same.
I mean, I think in terms of evil mother, Carrie is like the standard in a
Yes,
lot of ways.
absolutely.
And Barbara brought it. Fantastic. But I also go Black Swan here. I love Winona Ryder. Triumphant Return.
Yeah.
She kind of is more psychotic in her performance than Portman ever is. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
when she starts stabbing her face and the things she says, I
Oh
mean,
my God.
she hits new levels.
Forgot about that part.
Oh.
And that is a little bit of a problem, honestly, that for me, it was kind of like, well, I'm supposed to see this transformation in Portman, but she never even really matches Winona Ryder's intensity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, remember, Winona Ryder's at the end of her career.
Yeah.
And at 30 is being told she's an old fucking woman. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there you can see the process
Yeah.
of, oh, she'll be there in a few years.
Are we to believe that, because there is an insinuation when she visits her in the hospital that maybe Winona Ryder has gone through this transformation already, and now she's like the locust shell of that. Is that
Yeah.
something? I thought about that.
Ooh,
No, that makes sense.
good
That tracks
call
with me.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like maybe she's the way she is because she's been completely emotionally just crushed by this process of transformation. That
I mean, even her at the before she tries to kill herself, she's seeking the approval of eggs. So,
Yes.
I mean, it's definitely you describe it.
yeah, that's the vibe I got. But so those are two is just incredible performances. Supporting actress worthy to me.
Absolutely.
Everything else, though, one thing I didn't like, and this is kind of out of character for Aronofsky because I do think he directs actors very well. All of the ballerinas were Valley Girl to me.
Yeah.
Like I think
They were very California, not New York.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't really understand that. And I know there is some of that. We're ever going to get a group of dancers together, there's going to be some of that competition. But there was just every time they went to them, I'm like, I just feel like I was watching Clueless in some
Or
ways.
Mean Girls. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I didn't understand that choice.
Yeah. It was definitely very interesting.
Yes.
I don't know. While I get the intention behind it, I agree with you. I don't think it was executed.
Yeah, you're just looking, and we kind of, we've said this with a few minutes, like just something a little different, just something to pop up because there really are 5 actors and actresses here, but could have used just a little bit of just a dynamic from that supporting cast.
Absolutely.
And all right, it's tied right now. So the wings are emerging here.
We're in the gray zone.
We are in the gray zone. I love a good tie. Writers: Mark Heyman, Andre Hines, and John J. McLaughlin.
Yeah, I think they did. I need to read the script. It's in my Amazon wish list right now, and I should buy it at some point. Yeah, it is so well thought out. Every little detail, which obviously some of that's going to come from Darren Aronofsky, but there's enough subtext in the script itself that absolutely to pull this type of story completely originally out of your own brain, I think is.
I'm going White Swan.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I agree with you, and I'm like, ditto.
Ditto. Hey,
Nothing
Move
wrong
on.
with that.
that's okay.
Sometimes I'm just right.
No, I feel like you're always right.
Mhm.
Don't say that. You're always right. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
It's great
especially
writing.
about Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I would change anything about it, honestly. I feel like it was just exactly what it needed.
Yeah, the twist is still a twist while you're rewatching it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it is watching a progression of somebody just losing their minds.
Yeah.
So perfect.
I'm a squeak over on the writing. This was a tough category for me. I think there are areas where it's exceptional.
Yeah.
I think the way Natalie Portman's character is created and the way they developed her through the writing was incredible. They expressed a lot with not a lot of dialogue. She doesn't actually think about it. She doesn't actually say a lot.
Yeah.
And I think Winona Ryder's character adds a really interesting kind of counter to that. But again, some of the choices with the supporting cast that we talked about that also exist on the page. I didn't love some of those choices. I do feel like they got away with a few things. I just think even though it's supposed to be an ambiguous movie, I think they also got away with lack of clarity in some areas. And I do love ambiguous endings, ambiguous movies. Like I dig that.
Yeah.
But there were areas here where I'm like best film worthy. No, I just think it was a little cloudy in areas. But I still go Scotia because overall, like where it was exceptional, it was phenomenal. I do think, and I've seen Aronofsky be more complete in other films. Like I do think Requiem for a Dream, I'm just like, holy shit.
Yeah. But at the same time, there's not supposed to be anything ambiguous about it. This is truly a question of what is real and what isn't.
Requiem is drugs are bad.
Yeah. Drugs will get your arm cut off and make you anal fuck another girl.
Drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad.
All right.
Ass to ass.
Two to one. Oh god. Oh my god. It doesn't help they cast what's his face to be the guy that hires him.
No, that guy's the perfect.
I saw a picture of two urinals on the opposite wall, but nothing in between them.
Yeah.
And I think I texted this to you because I put the ass to ass picture underneath it. Just the guy ass to ass.
That scene still haunts me to this day.
I know.
So horrible.
That whole movie just haunts me.
I mean,
it's so good though.
It's the reason I didn't do drugs for a very long time.
Yeah.
And then now I just do not those drugs.
Yeah. Not heroin.
Yeah, not.
If you want to completely stop, then follow it up with Transpotting. Yeah.
Yeah.
2-1. Here we go. This would be directing. Darren Aronofsky.
Yeah, fucking incredible. Yeah, White Swan all the way. Just, again, I want to read the script so I can see how much subtext is in there because his vision clearly added just so many other. The fact that he directed, it was just like, okay, this guy's office and home, nothing but black and white. But like, we have so much color in the clothes that she wears. And even the couple of scenes where they're outside the theater, like there's so much color. But then as soon as you're back into the world of ballet, it's all black and white.
Yeah.
Like it's just, there's so much that he did. Directing the actors, directing the visuals of it, how like talking with Clint Mansell and how he did the score, like all of it. I can't say this is his best film or even favorite of mine.
I'm going White Swan as well. Amazing. I loved it. I think his vision just came through really well. I feel like the way the movie is shot is how you feel while you're watching it. It feels like you're in a washing machine almost.
Yeah,
you're just like,
that handheld style of it definitely does that.
Yeah. It really adds to it. And what's funny is with the color scheme you mentioned.
Yeah.
For every time I've been in like a ballet studio or like around ballet at all, it is so stark and cold.
Yeah.
And there's nothing cuddly about the place and there's no stuff anywhere.
Yeah.
And I love the juxtaposition where she goes back home and it's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
There's
Dark green on the walls, pink in her clothes. Like,
so I realized this. I painted my room, my like work room at my house, dark green.
Yeah.
But yeah, White Swan all the way.
Yeah.
Love it.
But it's not my favorite movie by him. That would be Mother. Mother is my favorite movie.
Yeah. Same here. I mean, not a Mother, but this isn't my favorite. I go White Swan here too. I mean, yeah, I do see some flaws with some of the writing and some of the development of the characters, but overall, and the reason to me to say this feels like a Radiohead music video is a compliment.
Yeah. Because
the reason later Radiohead is so interesting because there's a weird fluidity to their new age music that they write, and this movie was like a visual version of that to me.
Yeah.
There's a weird fluidity to this movie where even though I see some of these weird kind of drop-offs in the plot or maybe the character development, I'm being like moved through it, and it feels like, what do they call it, rolling?
Yeah.
I don't do drugs, but I feel like I'm rolling watching this movie. I'm just kind of like, I can't, like, there were times where I was like, when was the last time I blinked?
Yeah.
Like,
legit.
It's a visual feast. Yeah. Some of the choices here are just gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I totally, I think he should get a lot of accolades here. So it's a White Swan. 3-1, and thank you to the spreadsheet. I can keep track here. I went way off spreadsheets for a little while. I'm back now. Yeah. Keeping track, keeping numbers.
Thank you, Excel.
I love a spreadsheet.
A good algo. Yes.
Spread that sheet.
I knew that was coming.
It was. Yeah.
I was like, don't say it.
It's hard. Yeah. Microsoft jokes. Hey, 3-1. All right. What's in front of a cinematography, production, design, sound, costumes, editing, and stunts, which apparently there's an angry ballerina in the mix. So.
Yeah. This is the one aspect of the movie, and I know we include score in here as well, that I just say is flawless.
Mm-hmm.
The visuals are incredible. The production design is incredible. Like everything in this aspect is
same. Oh my God, I can't list all that stuff because I forget it all.
Yeah,
but yeah, everything is perfect. I think especially the costumes and just the character choices. I just love a cohesive movie. It feels like I don't know if Darren Aronofsky has a hand in like everything when it comes to like putting together of the movie, but there is such a cohesion about it.
Yeah,
and I just believe it all. So it just feels so real. And you just definitely feel like you're in New York, and you're just like, but yeah, White Swan.
Same. I think it's so what this movie does, and I love it when films do this well. It's self-contained.
Yeah.
It's very self-contained to the show, to the studio, and her apartment.
Yeah.
And there's that one scene at the club.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think there's literally like 7 locations total.
Yeah. And I feel claustrophobic. Like, and what's interesting is that I'm like, even though I don't know what it's like to be a ballerina and to live with this level of self-scrutiny and intensity, I feel her life.
Yeah.
Because her life literally is those locations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the club was an outlier for her.
Yeah.
Right? She goes to the studio, she goes home, she sleeps, she comes back, she doesn't eat. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm feeling that kind of suffocated. Yes, like we're driven to perfection, but we can't do anything else, or else that will mean no perfection.
Yeah.
It's like literally this fear. And I was like, whatever he did, whatever choices he made in these areas, I'm in it.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling claustrophobic. So I love that. Yeah. Huge win for self-contained storytelling. Mm-hmm. Yeah, White Swan. 4-1, and now we're in the bro categories. How we feeling?
Feeling good.
We feeling good? Are we emerging?
Good. Yeah.
Emerging here, or wings are...
Getting some goose skin.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Ugh.
Was that supposed to be shingles that she was like dealing with on her back?
Well, I think it was supposed to be the early like illusion that she was going to sprout wings.
Sure, but like the actual thing, like it looked like shingles.
It could have been.
Yeah,
I know someone.
Those are very much stress induced.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I knew someone who had shingles, but I never saw the shingles.
I lived with a guy who ended up getting shingles, and even though he treated me like a piece of shit, he was still like, "Can you put the cream on my shingles, please? I can't reach." I was like, "Fuck you, bro."
Oh my God.
Shingles is such a viscom thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God.
Yeah. It sounds like something fecal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Something along the fecal nature.
I mean, it is the adult version of chicken pox. So.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know someone says they got shingles. They're like, I'll see you later, bro. Okay. I'm going to cut that out. I don't want to.
We're not friends anymore.
Yeah. Because you have shingles.
I'm done. Shingles.
I'm going to write that down. cut out the shingle slander. I'm sure there's good people with shingles out there somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure
maybe.
it doesn't just affect people. That would make sense.
It should.
It's like leprosy in the Bible.
Yeah.
I call this category Dance Dance Revolution.
Category. That's great.
You know, film, there's lots of films, and I didn't list them all, but where dance is a theme. How do we feel about this as a movie that's built on the concept of dance?
I don't have much else to compare it to, so I think it's for what it's trying to portray. I think it is it's going to be a White Swan for me, but I'm in a rare moment in movie wars. This is something where I'm just going completely uneducated on it.
Yeah.
So it spoke to me. I think it did its job well. I can't really compare it.
Well, save The Last Dance. Yeah. No, I'll list a few here. Billy Elliot, Dirty Dancing, Footloose, Saturday Night Fever, Flashdance, The Red Shoe, Center Stage, Step Up.
The only one of those I've seen was Dirty Dancing, and I hated it.
Oh yeah, well, I didn't like that, but the dancing part was fun.
La La Land
I thought
also.
it was just a shitty movie. So.
Oh yeah, La La Land.
La La Land.
Didn't see La La Land.
Oh, don't. It's not good.
It's dog
Yeah.
shit.
Dancing is very cute.
Damien Chazelle is someone I've never really given a shit about. I didn't see Whiplash because I felt like it was just a ripoff of this.
Oh,
Whiplash. That's the movie I thought about the whole time I was watching this. I love Whiplash.
Is that the drumming movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched
Dude,
that.
it's extraordinary.
Completely a ripoff of this.
It is, but
it's 100%.
it's like that for music. It's like
Yeah,
Black Swan from
sure,
music.
but-
Dude, J.K. Simmons though.
Sure,
It's
I'm sure he and Miles Teller do a good job.
It's
I don't
worth
like
it.
Miles Teller as an actor that much, and I just thought the story was a complete ripoff. So I was like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
That's so funny because my husband's a drummer.
Yeah.
So Whiplash is about drumming, and then this is about ballet, and
Yeah.
it's like both of our movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched that in a cabin and somewhere in the middle area when I was on mushrooms.
Pakistan.
It was great.
In East Palestine, Ohio.
I love a good Middle Eastern Airbnb.
It had 3 walls.
You can get mushrooms there. Too.
Yeah. And then, so you,
The dancing aspect.
yeah.
Yeah, it's from my limited perspective, it was good. So,
Yeah.
White Swan.
Oh, I say White Swan too. I wish there had been more dancing.
Yeah.
My favorite parts of not Black Swan. My favorite parts are actually at the party where she turns into the Black Swan and she's like, that's the fun part of Swan Lake. Swan Lake is very like military. It's like a military dance up until that part, and then it's fun. But I just wish they had more of it.
Yeah.
Not even of her or Mila Kunis, like the rest of the dancers.
Yeah.
And that would have been cool to add just 5 minutes more of dancing.
That was something that was a little jarring for me, is that we go from only being in the studio to suddenly they're performing. We don't even get to see a dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
We see them just go from no lighting cues, no stage cues to now we're performing.
Oh, you know what? That reminds me. I feel like there is a rehearsal in it because she's wearing this there's something about the costume design I completely forgot until right now.
Yeah.
Rodarte did the costumes, and this was like right when they were beginning, and this was part of my love of being a fashion designer.
Yeah.
But they she basically has these cobwebby sweatery things and she wears the shrugs and stuff, and they kind of, she goes from having a little bit to a lot, and it's like the clothes are kind of helping her cocoon to transform at the end. So I wish there was more dancing. I might go Black Swan on this one.
Oh.
Yeah. I really wish there was more dancing.
Yeah.
Damn, I want to come with you on this.
Right?
I really want to sink this motherfucker.
Yeah. Sink it.
I don't know why. I want to take it out on it.
But all the other movies you listed, I've seen most of them except Step Up, I think. And all of them have so much dancing in them. And that's what dancers like to watch in movies.
Right.
This was almost less about dancing and more about just us down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Black Swan.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. This is a ballet of mental illness is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I struggle. I actually did go White Swan. I do want to go with you. I really do, Marianna. I just really want to just shit on this movie so bad. But I've been to ballets. I've been to several actually, because when I was studying, before I studied business, I studied music, and part of my major I had to go to, we had a dance center nearby. It was in Tulsa. It was a city called Silent Springs, Arkansas, but Tulsa was 30 minutes away. They have a great ballet place there. And we would go watch Oklahoma. And I eventually respected the art form, but I was just never into it.
Yeah.
I if I didn't have to go for school, I probably wouldn't go. I'm just going to be real. All the respect to the mentally ill ballerinas of the world. But watching this though, I never thought about the ballet. I was never God, ballet. They kind of suckered me into wanting to watch this movie about ballet. And you're right, it's not all about that, but that's why I give it, because I hate all those other movies. Footloose, all the movies I just listed, La La Land, I literally hated all of those movies. Yeah. But for some reason, it never fazed me here, and I think that's actually a nod to them. So I really wanted to hate it, but sorry, White Swan.
Watch the red shoes.
Let's try. Maybe we can sync it with this last one here. What do you think?
We'll see.
That's right. We are
Sync
now.
it.
I mean, it's still one, but okay.
What do they call that kind of journalism where it's it's not real journalism? It's you're just
Gonzo journalism?
opinions. No, that's Hunter S. Thompson.
Oh, op-eds.
Yeah, op-eds. This is.
I could do that kind.
They also call it another thing. It's
Editorial.
Editorial. Yeah, this is an editorial scorecard. We're actually just trying to assign it a score to sync it.
Yeah.
That was stupid. I don't know why I'm talking. Requiem for a Dream vinyl. All right, 5-1. It doesn't matter at this point. It's but this last one, I call it Clearing the Air. Aronofsky. I have his 8 films listed here. Now, when you IMDb him, you're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to see a shit ton of movies and think, why did Kai only have 8? He has produced 3 times more movies than he's directed.
Yeah.
These are his directorial movies in order of critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. 98% for The Wrestler. That's number 1. Pi, his original film, 88%. That came out in 98.
Yeah.
85% for Black Swan, number 3. Requiem for a Dream, number 4 at 78%, which is weird to me.
Wow.
Noah, 75%. Mother, 68%. The Whale, 64%. Then The Fountain, 52%. That's right. I said The Fountain. Is this movie... should it be in his top 5 or should it be higher? I mean, another thing to look at is how many awards it got. This is his most award nominated, his most award winnings. I mean, should this be closer to the top or?
I haven't seen, I should say, I've only seen this one, Requiem. Of those 3, I think it's middle. I think this one's significantly better on so many other levels, but,
Same.
And I love Noah personally, but if I was going to completely objectively look at it, yeah, it's nothing crazy special. It's well made, like it's really good, but it's nothing groundbreaking like either of these 2 movies are. But knowing him and knowing his art form and also knowing kind of the plot of The Whale and of Mother, yeah, I think this does belong up there. It gives a very different look into this world that, especially when it came out, I think went against a lot of the tone of movies that was coming out. This very much speaks back to his Pi and Requiem for a Dream days.
Yeah.
Like it very much, I was talking to McKenna about this last night, from 99 to 2010. And this and Inception kind of really ended this genre of like the mind fuck. Mm-hmm. But that really started with like Fight Club and American Psycho and Requiem for a Dream back in the day. So it's like it harkened back to his early films. So yeah, I definitely think it belongs in his top 5, but that's only coming from someone who's seen 3 of his movies. Mm-hmm. So it's a White Swan for me.
White Swan.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it definitely belongs in his top 5. I understand why it's the most commercially successful out of all of them, even though The Wrestler has the highest rating. I understand why this one has the most awards. It was more palatable than any of his other movies.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's the kind of movie that you could take somebody who's not into movies too. Yeah. And they could watch it too and like be like, "This, I get it." But like The Wrestler, like. But then again, so is
Mother's
Mother.
Not your favorite?
Mother's also my favorite.
Mother.
And Pi, I forgot.
Pi is amazing.
Pie's
I need to see it. I've heard.
Dude, you would dig it.
I'm so happy that you mentioned that this was very much like Pi and Requiem, and those where they're less polished. Like Mother and like his later movies. I didn't see The Whale yet, and I didn't see Noah, but I just feel like they're kind of like him but polished. Yeah. And The Fountain, I tried to watch. But I understand why that's the
mean, what'd you say the budget for this was?
It was $13 million.
Yeah, for such a low budget, it's perfectly not polished.
Yeah, it's perfect in its own way.
Yeah,
but I just love that it still feels that like gritty Darren Aronofsky-ness.
Yeah,
but it's still like I can bring in somebody who's not obsessed with movies and they can enjoy it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
White Swan.
White Swan. I was about to say, I'm like trying to think.
Clearing the air, Aronofsky. God, I just wanted to say it again.
I know.
It's good.
I did go Black Swan here. I just I like it. I just think Requiem and The Wrestler is my favorite. I not just of his, but I just think it's one of the greatest American films.
Yeah.
When you talk about the genre, there is a genre of American filmmaking.
Yeah.
There Will Be Blood, those types of movies. The Wrestler is firmly in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mickey Rourke, somehow he got this insane performance out of Mickey Rourke.
Wow.
Requiem is, and you're right, there is this idea of accessibility. If you're adding accessibility into it, then this is, compared to those 2, is probably his most accessible. Yeah. I made the mistake of having a Requiem for a Dream party in college. Invited a bunch of like people from my local ministry that I worked in. I worked in this Christian.
Go ass to ass.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, hey, I got a great. I just had no sense of no self-awareness.
You were not self-aware at all.
I was like, hey, let's go serve the homeless here, and then we're gonna watch this Requiem for a Dream movie.
Oh my God.
And people were mad at, like, literally, I lost friends.
I bet you did.
I lost friends. I'm much more self-aware now.
Oh man.
But you know how it is.
Yeah.
I'm a film lover.
Yeah.
And I just wanted people to be on that level. And I forget that not everybody likes movies at that level.
Yeah.
So honest mistake, I own up to it. But I also love movies. So just, you got to take everything I say with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
I should have known better, but I didn't. This was college. That was my big mistake. But yeah, I just think Requiem is, even though I really don't ever want to watch it again. I've watched it probably 5 or 6 times. That's enough. But I just have so much damn respect for that visual spectacle that is.
God, it's so good.
It's so good. The fucking the score. Oh my God. But yeah, I think this is good, but I just think it's not as complete as some of the other ones. So I do go Black Swan. The Whale is really good. It is extremely polished compared to these other ones. It's definitely him. And I think it's a cool flavor. And he does this. He did it with Noah. He has these interesting little offshoot movies.
Yeah.
But they don't feel like as much of the Aronofsky I love. So yeah, I do go Black Swan on this one. It's great, but I don't think it's in his top, you know.
Gotcha.
Fair.
But 6-1, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We like this movie, and we need a pick-me-up.
Yeah.
We need a pick-me-up. We need to. July is coming. Going to definitely lean into some action to clear the palate here.
Yeah. Next week y'all have Midsummer, and then after that, I think we're doing Independence Day.
Independence Day.
Oh, great one. Do y'all want me to do the speech right now? I can.
Do it. Yeah.
We just slowly fade out as she's doing the speech. She's in the speech, and we're just like, I'm Kyle, I'm Seth.
We start packing
we're
up.
done.
Just,
breaking down the microphones, and she's still going.
But we were so stoked to have you back on the show.
Yeah.
Third time. You're the leader of the guests.
Yeah.
Thank God. I hate
and I
losing.
think still the only woman.
And the only woman.
Nice.
There's no other women that want to come on the show.
Yeah.
There's not a. Okay, I will say this. In my life, I haven't met too many women who were obsessed with film.
That's true.
I have just because I went to film school, but that's really it.
Yeah. And if I did, they went to film school.
Yeah. I have to watch these movies when my wife isn't home because she just is not going to deal with it.
Same with my husband too. I'm like, I have to schedule time when he's practicing something else and away.
I'm just glad she likes the movies I pick more than you do.
She does. She's more on Seth's side of the aisle with film. But this was a blast, and I'm not going to watch any ballet for a while. I'm going to take a break.
Yeah.
Love y'all. I'm Kyle.
I'm Seth.
I'm Marianna.
Woo!
The Movie Wars.